Russian military expenditure translated into USD was about 70 billion in 2021. However, if one would only calculate the purchasing power of the Russian military budget in rubles, the number in United States dollar would be closer to 170 billion. Hello my friends, my name is Artur Rehi and I am an Estonian soldier.
Mina olen Rehi Rehi.
Russian military spending in 2021 was about 70 billion USD, which amounted to about 4.3% of their GDP at the time. In 2014, when Russia annexed Crimea, their military spending was about 84 billion USD, which at the time amounted to 4.1% of their GDP.
These guys got their training from the guards outside of Buckingham Palace because they're not saying a word to anybody.
In 2008, when Russia attacked its neighbor Georgia, their military spending was about 56 billion USD, which amounted to about 3.1% of their GDP. My friends, unlike most of my videos, this one actually has a sponsor, Magic Spoon.
What can I say? I love cereal. When I was a kid, it made me so sad that I was only allowed to eat this in the morning. Well, I'm not a kid anymore. Now I can eat this anytime I want, anywhere I want. You know why? Because this is a Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar per serving. It has about 13 to 14 grams of protein per serving and only about 4 net grams of carbs per serving. That's about 140 calories per serving. You know what? It's actually keto friendly. It's gluten free, it's grain free, it's soy free, and also it's low carbs. It's really healthy. You want all of this? Click the link in the description below to grab a variety pack and try it today. And also use the code Estonian69. Yeah, you heard correctly. Estonian69 at checkout to get $5 off any purchase. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that they have a 100% happiness guarantee. That means that if you don't like the product for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Click the link in the description below, use the code Estonian69 or go to magicspoon.com/Estonian69 to get $5 off today.
Let's also do the Patreons. We have a few and I'm gonna name them all in Estonian, so if you wanna get offended, go ahead, get offended. We have Austin Le Rocks. Then we have Jeff Thomas. We have Dave, oh the mighty me. Then we have Lucas. Then we have Ara Mehran. And finally we have Noah. Estonian pronunciation all the way. If you want your name to be in this list or if you like my channel, go ahead and become a patron. Link is in the description below. If you become a tier 10 or above patron, I'll be reading your name. Thank you to all of these people. Quick announcement, the Estonian Soldier Discord server, yes the very one, is going to be ready in February. JPEX, the legendary JPEX, is working on it already. Stay tuned on my channel, I'll be letting you know when it's ready. Everybody can join, but only members can chat and do all the things in the server. So to become an active member of the server, you gotta become a member of the channel. But don't worry, it's only 99 cents per month. It's the cheapest possible option. So everybody can join. Stay tuned for it. Let's talk about Russia's manpower. The population of Russia is 142 million people. Russian military manpower is 1.35 million people, which makes up about 0.9% of their population. These estimates vary, so don't be surprised if you see different numbers on the internet. Total mobilization could amount up to 40 million people. But I don't think any country in the world has that many guns, except for the US. What about Russia's land forces? Russia has about 12,000 tanks. out of which 5,000 are T-72s, 4,500 are T-80s, and only about 350 are T-90s. Although the number is unknown, it is believed that out of all of those tanks, a few thousand are in reserves due to malfunctions due to age.
Repairing a damaged tank takes anywhere from 1 to 3 months.
What about the T-14 Armata? The biggest, best, newest tank in the world. The per unit cost of the T-14 is just under $4 million. The initial planned acquisition to have as many as 2,300 T-14 tanks in service by 2025 was scaled back to just 100 experimental vehicles. But Russia has fallen short of even reaching those 100 T-14s.
I would never suggest the Russian government is lying, but those claims seem sus to me. We need to investigate further.
In fact, to date, only about 20 pre-production testing versions have been delivered to the Russian army. Past 5 years have shown that Russia has not been able to produce any T-14 Armata tanks outside of the testing phase.
By far, the biggest problem with T-14 is its availability. Before 2019, there were only around 35 T-14 tanks made.
What about vehicles? Russia has about 30,000 armored vehicles, out of which 10,000 are BMPs. Most of those are BMP-1s. 7,000 are BTRs. Most of them are BTR-60s. 6,500 are self-propelled artillery. They also have 7,500 towed artillery and 3,500 rocket projectors. Most of which are BM-21 Grads. What about naval forces? The total tonnage of the Russian Navy is about 1.3 million tons, making it the second largest navy in the world after the USA. Russian Navy has 605 ships in total. They have one aircraft carrier, Admiral Kuznetsov. The carrier has been dubbed the unluckiest ship due to constant malfunctions and accidents, and as of now is in repairs and is expected to return to service within 1 to 2 years.
One of Admiral Kuznetsov's major problems is her power plant. The vessel is powered by steam turbines and turbo-pressurized boilers that defense industry daily generously described as defective.
The carrier was launched in 1985. Her max speed is about 33 miles per hour and her range is about 4,500 miles. She can carry up to 26 fighters and up to 12 helicopters. The Russian Navy also has 15 destroyers, 11 frigates, 86 corvettes and 70 submarines, making it the third biggest underwater fleet behind China and USA. What about foreign bases? In 2018, it was reported that Russia operates at least 21 significant military facilities overseas, which include bases in Syria, Belarus and even Arctic. Nagurskoye is the most northern military facility in the world. It was built in the 1950s as a staging base for long-range Soviet bombers to reach the US. Now we get to the juicy part. Wagner Group. Wagner Group is a Russian-owned and funded private military and security company. Moscow denies any links to the Wagner Group. Yet, mounting Wagner paramilitary casualties in Syria, Ukraine and most recently Libya have undermined their deniability of their Kremlin connections. Wagner Group has been doing Kremlin's dirty work, which includes several war crimes in 21st century.
جمع النقود هذه يعني تعتبر من أعمالهم يعني هذا شغل اللي يديروا فيه يقتلوا في الناس مقابل ويرهبوا في الناس ويرتكبوا في جرائم مقابل انهم ياخذوا مبلغ. Now let's sum up the biggest post-Soviet wars that Russia has been in. First, Russo-Chechen War. First Russo-Chechen War was a rebellion by the Chechen Republic against the Russian Federation. Fought from 1994 to 1996. The president of Russia at the time was Boris Yeltsin. Russian army attempted to gain control over the mountainous area of Chechnya, but was set back by the Chechen guerrilla warfare and raids.
Story from that era, Chechen guerrilla fighters were not armed to the teeth. They were not the strongest fighting force in the world, but they were clever. They had a very limited supply of tank mines, so they put a bowl in the middle of the street. They did that very often. And at the beginning of the war, every bowl had a tank mine under it. Tank drove over that bowl, it blew up. Russians knew about this, so every time they saw a bowl in the middle of the street, they knew it to be a mine. Well, Chechens ran out of those mines after a few months, but they still continued to put bowls in the middle of the streets. And if you are in a Russian tank and if you see that bowl in the middle of the street and 10 tanks before that have exploded these bowls, you're not gonna drive over it. Even if it doesn't have a mine under it, you're still gonna wait until it is cleared. And those bowls, without the mines under them, still harassed and slowed down the Russian columns significantly. Despite Russia's overwhelming advantages in manpower, firepower, air superiority, artillery and combat vehicles, Yeltsin's government declared a ceasefire with the Chechens in 1996. Russia lost the first Chechen War. The second Russo-Chechen War happened in 1999 to 2000. It was the very first war as Vladimir Putin as president of Russia. This war was his way to win over the Russian people, because elections were coming up and he was the new unknown face in the Russian politics. Like the previous war, Russian forces took huge casualties against Chechen guerrilla forces, but managed to take control over the whole Chechnya and slowly root out resistance. The whole operation lasted until 2009. Chechnya has been annexed by Russia from 1999 up until now. Russia won the Second Chechen War. Then there was the Russo-Georgian War in 2008. Georgia, not in the United States, but Georgia as a country, a small country next to Russia. Following the election of Vladimir Putin as president of Russia in 2000 and a pro-Western change of power in Georgia in 2003, relations between Russia and Georgia began to deteriorate, reaching full diplomatic crisis in 2008. On 1st of August 2008, South Ossetian separatists started shelling Georgian villages. South Ossetia and Abkhazia are very similar to Donetsk and Luhansk in Ukraine. They are Russian-supported separatist areas. They do not have international recognition, but Russia has their back. Artillery attacks by pro-Russian separatists broke the 1992 ceasefire agreement. To put an end to these attacks, Georgian army was sent into South Ossetia. Russia launched a full-scale land, sea and air invasion of Georgia on the 8th of August, so the very next day. Vladimir Putin called it the Peace Enforcement Operation. The Peace Enforcement Operation. Ceasefire was organized within a week, and up until this day, Russian forces have not left Abkhazia and South Ossetia. This conflict tells us what might be the future of the eastern Ukraine conflict. Russian forces have not left the area. Russia won the Russo-Georgian War and destroyed almost all of the Georgian military capability within a week, and set the country back decades. In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea and fighting broke out in the eastern Ukrainian regions of Luhansk and Donetsk. Fighting still goes on today. There have been over 15,000 casualties. And from the very next year, since 2015, Russian forces have actively fought in Syria on behalf of the Al-Assad regime, who is responsible for quite a few atrocities. For the length of this video, I had to be brief. I had to leave out a lot of information, so if you feel like this video was not complete, feel free to complete it in the comments. I do read all of the comments, so you can let the community know what you know more about Russian military or its conflicts. Your wisdom is welcome here, my friends. Thank you for watching. If you like this channel, please head on to the Patreon and become a tier 10 or above Patreon. And Discord is coming in February. If you want to join, just become a member of this channel. Only 99 cents a month, so everybody can join. Thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, until my next video, stay cool, my friends, and bye bye.